How do I start this? As you can see, I'm off to a great start. I'm gonna pull myself together for this. Alright, so I'm coming on here today. This is a really hard subject to talk about. Since the early stages of age 11, I'm a very emotional person. I have always had depression. Not always, but since I've known, since I was 11, I started to get anorexic when I was then. I got over that hurdle, which was amazing. But at age 13, I was harming. I don't know if this is any, this isn't a danger to anyone or anything, but I haven't harmed for ages. And not many people do talk about their struggles with depression and anxiety. I think when I was around about year 12, age 17, I actually fell quite deep. A lot of things were happening around me that time of my age. that age year, that year. And I just collapsed, and my mum saw me at my lowest. Now, I love my mum. She's been there through thick and thin, and I would never want to put her through that again. So I found out that I had severe depression and high anxiety. Now with the anxiety, it's like a rush in your body that you cannot turn off. You're constantly anxious about tomorrow. You're constantly anxious about your neighbors, your hair, your friends, your partner. Now back then when I was harming, I would do it as a way of not to die, not to severely hurt myself, just so I could focus on something else rather than my feelings, what's going on around me. I would lean towards that because it would put my mind to that and go, oh shivers, I need to calm down. I'm hurting myself. And then you go through all this regret about hurting yourself, but then you do it over and over again because it becomes a cycle. So I went to a rehab in, I wouldn't call it a rehab, they made us call it a women's rehabilitation centre. Now the reason I went there is so I could stop harming. I got to the point where I was doing it day in, day out. I had lost energy. Now, I was proud of myself at that point. I acknowledged that I needed help. I acknowledged that this isn't normal. So they took me in with open arms after I graduated high school. So when I was in there, I realized that, holy moly, there's way worse than what they have to do with me. But I had to focus on myself, and I was clean. I actually had a routine going there. I made lovely friends. It just made you focus on, it got you out of that rut. And when I left that place, I was full of energy, happy. I knew how to slightly deal with what was going on inside my world, inside my head, until something bad happens or something that triggers my memories or a trauma. Now, I have been hurt by a guy. I was sorry. I was used for, I'm not gonna say it out loud, but abuse sexually. I just said it out loud. And I was on my period. think it still kind of traumas me in my current relationship. So I have harmed a few times, not too many, but when I do get to my lowest point, I have noticed that I do tend to gravitate towards harming. But I actually have a way of dealing with that. I'd distract myself, I'd clean, I'd talk to friends, I'd go over and see my family. But it's like a drug. You can't, it's always there. Just harm, harm, harm. That's all it tells me. Because I live on my own, it's very hard because you're on your own and it's very hard to reach out for someone in the next room or someone down the road because I have no friends in this town. But because I have trust issues and anxiety, trauma, all this kind of stuff, I'm constantly needing reassuring that everything is okay, that I am loved, that you're just overthinking it. Everything is fine. That's what it's like to have anxiety. I can't even bring up a boss or tell someone I'm hurting. It's hard. And I hate I hate myself when I actually have to be like, are we okay, you know? Is everything okay? Like, you haven't spoken to me in ages. Like, constantly needing that loving, constantly needing reassuring that everything is okay. And you know what? That's just who I am. And nothing's got to change. It's just who I am. The moral of all this is that anxiety is massive. It's not something that will go away just like that. Yeah, you might not have anxiety for weeks on end, months on end, and then something will just happen and then it'll start to trigger again. So when someone has anxiety around you, be there for them. If they're saying, are we okay? You tell them, yeah, we're okay. Everything's good, you know. Just because they repeat themselves doesn't mean they're nagging you or are upset with you. They're just reassuring themselves. And if that's what they need, that's what they need. Thank you guys for listening to my little rant. But yeah, that's a little insight on my anxiety right now. It's just, it actually feels good to talk about it. Like, wish I could talk about it more, but there's just so little you could say, really. But yeah, I don't know what to say. Thank you for watching. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.